Welcome back to another Ninjago City expansion video. I'll get you caught up if you missed my last video. So I'm trying to fit all of my Ninjago City onto this one Linman's IKEA table, and I don't have any room from this side. However, in the back side, we've got room for expansion, so that's where we'll be working. And what we're going to be adding this time is the Temple of Airjitsu from Masters of Spinjitzu. In my last update video, I didn't have any minifigures in my city. Well, they're all back now, and they all have functions to perform, enemies to battle, and ice cream to be eaten. Wait, what? This expansion is going to happen on the back side, so let's get this table spun around. With Destiny's Bounty moved out of the way, here's a look at the back side. And actually, I enjoy looking at this side more than I like the front, especially with the new expansion that I did with the extra docks here. If you're wondering what's going in this white space back here, well, it's going to be 2 base plates full of water, but that's not enough, right? I'm hoping that the pick-a-brick wall comes stocked with 1x2 transparent tiles sometime soon. Well, that's wishful thinking, I guess, huh? Anyway, I think the temple will look good right here. It'll help balance out the New World, Old World aspect. And being next to the memorial here, I think it's only fitting. However, we've got some work to do, because if you look at the other side, yeah, it's not finished. There's 2 sides missing. And what in the world is this? Okay, so we've got a little bit of work to do to adapt it to the city. So this set was designed for play. Though it looks good from the front, the back is opened for play, so we're going to need a second set so that we can complete the missing sides. Well, guess what? This is the second set. And I opened it up and started sorting pieces so that we can do that. So here's how I'm going to approach this modification. I'm going to remove the whole temple from this base. The base is going to need completely changed because it used to have this action feature where you push this in and gave it a spin. It would put on a show with a light brick down here, but my light brick doesn't work, so it doesn't turn on anymore. But anyway, all of that's going to change out. Now, each floor will need to have extra walls, but I'm going to need to change out these angular plates with some square ones. Did that piece just crack? Well, that's brittle brown for you. Anyway, what I was saying is I'm going to make each floor modularize this whole temple, because it's going to have 4 sides, and the only way to really access the interior would be taking off the roof or floors of each section. So that's my goal, to make it modularized. According to the manual, the Temple of Airjitsu is nowhere near close to Ninjago City. And the temple was a place where Sensei Yang invented the lost art of Airjitsu. And I'm guessing this is Sensei Yang, the statue of him anyway. Well, we're going to change up the story of this temple a little bit, since it's going to be placed in Ninjago City. And when you think of Ninjago City, you think of Master Wu, right? So that's our first order of business. We're putting in the Golden Wu from City Markets. And the next order of business is working on each section of floor here. And I'll start with the first floor. I'm done enclosing the first floor, which is basically a place to drink tea and meditate. The second floor will go on top and attach to these flower studs, and that's what I'm working on next, the weaponry. It looks like I'll be able to reuse these large wedge plates to make the second floor. This set had some nano figures, so I used them as trophies in this weaponry or training room. I've also added another sword rack, and I found a place for Sensei Yang. I ended up putting the statue of Sensei Yang down there on the floor, so I wouldn't have any clearance problems when putting on the next floor, which will attach to the 4 inner studs on each post. The third story appears to be a study. There's also some artwork being done. Again, I'll be able to use 2 large wedge plates to make up this floor. However, when I was looking back at the floor I just did, I don't really know why I used a black wedge plate. I might as well get that swapped with a brown one. I am really ticked off right now. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and contact Lego. Well, I put in my replacement request. See what they say. Last forever, huh? Some red bricks are cracking on me as well. Whew, deep breaths. Okay, I've got a black floor put in. That will have to do. I did manage to get all the brown floor in on the second floor. That looks good. A little bit of cracking, but it didn't crack in half like my other piece. Well, I've got the bookshelves doubled up, got the paint canvas and supplies in there, ready to enclose up this third floor. The third floor is finished, and I'm ready to put the roof on. I think this looks good. Now, there's one thing I have to address on the base. As you can see, there's 2 sides that have a patio with some extra studs. So to continue that symmetry in that patio all the way around, which I think will look good, I'm going to add some plates here and get that fixed up. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Look at the symmetry, the patio going all the way around. I think it looks good. The temple itself looks good and finished. Now I'll just need to work on the base. And take a look at the shadows that are being casted onto my wall. That is pretty cool. I set the temple down on this base plate to see approximately where it's going to sit while working on my base. So what we're going to carry over from the base is the statue and this little water fountain, I guess, the stone stairs, and the rock features. And also, I like the use of the tans, the light tan, dark tan, to represent sand or dirt, because most of the city is either water, concrete, or wood. So we don't have any sand or dirt, so I think that'd be a good balance and make this area of Ninjago City unique. I've got my green base plate all covered up with tan plates, light tan, dark tan. The stone staircases were easy to extract from the base here. I've made quite a mess. Also, the statue was easy enough. And I've put markers down to where the temple's going to sit. There's 4 markers there, so that I can kind of plan my strategy of the rock work. Now, the rock work I could do on all 4 sides and have it all the way around where the temple's just sitting on top of all of the rocks. But I thought it'd be a little bit more cooler. I thought it would be more cool if there was a passage through the rocks and underneath the temple. So I'll keep that in mind when I'm building up these rocks. I spent a lot of time on this beach area and the stone path because I'm working with so many different wedge plates and working at different angles. So down here, I've actually got one of these plates and attached it to some jumper plates to make that possible. And then I've got wedge plates on either side of it so it can just fit into that little cubby space. So I like how it turned out there. I'm also working on a tunnel system, and it's going to be for small boats. And I'm reconsidering the color of these plates that I have, the dark tan, because ultimately I want this to be cohesive with the rest of the city and blend right into the water of gardens here. And actually, I've already built an extra lily pad and one of these to match the other side. So I just wanted to flow well into the city. Speaking of which, it's interesting, I haven't done anything with these stairs yet. I may just leave them as they were designed. But as they were designed, they're pretty much exactly the same as these on docks. So that just helps with the cohesive feel. I've replaced the 3 large dark tan plates with a bunch of black and light tan ones. I think that'll make the waterways blend in a little bit smoother, especially into gardens where it's going to connect up to. With these bricks, add some Technic pins and I'll be able to connect them right there. Also working on some rock work and the tunneling system. An update on the brittle brown situation. So my order for the broken pieces got rejected, but I called customer service and they were able to fix me up, so we're good there. I added flowing water to the water fountain and studs at the base of it to make it look more dynamic. I've also added some tiling for the water over the black plates, and I put the temple on top to see where it will sit. Right now it's attached to 2 jumper plates and just sitting on the tunneling system, but I think I need to bring out the tunneling system a little bit further on both sides so that it can better support the temple. Here's what the tunnel looks like. I've added length to it, added some extra arches on both sides, and it's going to look really great once the water's all tiled over, all those black and light tan plates to look through here. Yeah, I can't wait to see that, but I've run out of water tiles, so that's as far as I'm gonna get in this video for the water. POV from a boat. The boat's bouncing up and down in the water. I would make some water sound effects, but not very good at that. And we're just floating through that tunnel and over to the docks. So you may have noticed when you were floating on that boat through the tunnel that some of the columns for these archway supports are not vertical. That side's okay, but this side you can see some of those slanted columns, like this one here. So it's just because I built at this really weird angle. I made some illegal connections. So what I could do is remove that jumper plate and not even have that column connected to a stud and just put a tile underneath. This tunnel is actually pretty big where I can fit my whole hand through here. There, the columns are standing more vertical and everything's a little bit less stressed now. I've added some more detail to the front, such as sand being collected up onto the rocky shore, some vegetation. I've added rock work to fill in some gaps on both sides of the staircase. I've added some more stone steps there so that they can lead all the way up to the temple. And similarly, I did some detailing on this side as well. Now let me talk about this back corner for a moment. This support pillar is just temporary. I will replace it with maybe a corner big ugly rock piece and then add a whole bunch of dark gray slopes and stuff to build up the landscaping. I'll also create stone staircases, similarly how they are in the front of the temple, although these ones are going to be much more steep to climb up to these doors. So there's doors on all 4 sides of the temple now. So that will give me more continuity that you can just come from gardens here and go to the temple. I'm very happy with this addition to Ninjago City. I think adding this temple provides a lot more tradition, a better symbol to represent this city being Ninjago. I think it makes quite a statement. And I think any Ninjago display needs a temple. And I'm super happy that I was able to complete the other 2 sides, to have this complete on all 4 sides. I'm happy with the rock work I've done, the beach work, and also the tunneling. Come on, how cool will it be once I've got this all tiled over with the waterway just going straight through? Anyway, that does it for this update. Thank you for watching. Oh, and by the way, this is how I will be displaying Ninjago City from now on. This is the side that's going to be facing outward. And gosh, I love this temple.